Fifth grade, happy Monday, happy 2021. Welcome back to school. So today is Monday, it's January 4th. We are back. We are getting after. We're still in distance learning, but I do want to start us to kind of think about today right away. Just what do we think that 2021 is going to be for us? Okay. So what we're going to do today is we're going to be writing some letters to ourselves in the future. Okay. Now, when you're going to get these letters back to see them is going to be exactly in 1 year from now, in 2022. Okay. That seems like forever away, but it's only 1 year. You'll be in sixth grade. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you these letters back, and I'm going to let you see how do you think 2021 went based on what we say today. Okay? So, like I said, we're going to be talking a little bit about what's going to be happening in this next year. Obviously, we don't really know. I would say that there's more confusion, there's more unsureness this year than there was last year. Okay, so it's okay not to know exactly what's going to happen in 2021, but today what I want you to do is be hopeful. Okay, be positive. Let's think about, when the world opens back up and we get to go places and do things again, what do you want to do this year? Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing today. So, before we get started, I just want to tell you a little bit about last year. So last year, in the beginning of 2020, January, okay, you were all in fourth grade. The fifth graders that were in our class last year, they did this exact same thing. They wrote these letters in person with a pencil. So I have their letters still. Once we go back to school, I'm going to give them their letters that they wrote from last year. Okay? Now, theirs is going to be a little bit funny because back in January of 2020, we had no idea what was going to happen for the rest of that year. We didn't know that school was going to close, that coronavirus was going to come. We didn't know that. And so they had all these ideas of things that they wanted to do without knowing that a lot of them weren't going to happen. So, but that's what's going to be happening today. We're going to be making these letters. We're going to see them next year. So, what I want you to do with me is down here on slide number 2. We're going to be writing these letters. Like I said, these little 3 boxes here, these are the 3 things that you're going to be putting in your letter. So, first thing, one event from 2020 that was important to you. Okay, you could think about something that happened, like one event. It could be like one big event, like a vacation that you went on. It could be something like you got to see a friend, you got to see a family member. It could be something that maybe was sad. Maybe you had to say goodbye to a family member or a pet. Something that was a big moment in 2020 that's important to you. That's what you're going to do for the first box here. Okay. One event from 2020 that was important to you. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put my number 1, and I want you to think about one event for you that was important. One event that was important to me. Okay, right there, that sentence, that's a good sentence starter for you. Let me zoom in here for you so you can see a little bit better. Okay, so for number 1, one event that was important to me. I got to see my family for the first time after quarantine. Okay, so for me, one event from 2020 that was important to me was when I got to see my family for the first time when quarantine was over. We got to see family again. We got to see our friends a little bit. This was in the beginning of the summer, around May. We were still in school, but we still had to do distance learning. But if you remember, like restaurants started to open up a little bit. You got to see other people that were outside of your own house. For me, that was an important event because I missed my family. I was just sitting here in my apartment, me and my cat. I was going crazy, ripping my hair out. He was ripping his hair out. I really wanted to see my family. So this was a very important event for me. Okay? Now, next box. One thing that you want to do in 2021. Right? So here we are. It's January 2021. We get 12 months of this new year. What do you want to do? What's one thing that would be very fun for you to do? Okay. I'm going to put a very basic one. You may feel the same way with this one. You can borrow this one if you have a different one. Go ahead. For me, in the new year, I want to go back to school. Okay. In this new year, I want to go back to school. I want to go back to school soon. I want to see you guys. I want to see old students that I miss. I want to see the teachers that I miss. I want to go back to school because it makes me feel like I'm not losing my mind, just sitting here. It's kind of boring when I'm just here all the time. I want to be able to see you guys, interact with you, and have a good year together. So, in the new year, I want to go back to school. Okay? I'll give you a couple of different options of ideas that you can think for this one thing that you might want to do. Maybe you want to go on a trip to a place that's very special to you. Like I know a few students that last year were really looking forward to going to Mexico in the summer, but were unable to go. So maybe you know what, in the new year, I want to be able to go and visit my family in Mexico. Or I want to go visit my cousin in Chicago or my sister in New York. Okay? Maybe you want to go somewhere. That's another option. Maybe in 2021, you want to, turn in all your homework on time. Maybe you want to make a new friend at school. Maybe you want to, go to a water park with one of your friends from school. Okay, a couple different ideas of what you might want to do for this year. Now, they may seem kind of simple, right? I want to go back to school. That's not very big, but for us right now, that means the world to us, right? That's a huge thing for us. It's just being able to go back to school and learn together again. Okay, so one thing that you want to do in 2021, that goes in that box. Now the last box is it's a little tricky, it's a little challenging. I want you to think about the person that you want to be in 2021. Okay, if you're somebody like me, in 2020, I spent a lot of time by myself. I got to know more about me and who I am, and the person that I really want to be in my life. Okay, so I want you to stop for a second. If you need to pause this video, you can. What I want you to think about is, what kind of person do you want to be in 2021? And let me push this question a little bit further. What do you want to do better in 2021? Okay, as a person, what do you want to do better? I'll give you a couple ideas. It could be somebody that maybe you really want to do better at doing your chores. Maybe you want to be more responsible. Maybe you're somebody who wants to not get so mad at your siblings when they're annoying you. Okay? Maybe you want to be kinder. All right? Maybe you want to, when somebody makes a mistake, be nicer to them. Maybe you want to be more forgiving. Okay? So I want you to stop for a second. I want you to think, what kind of person do you want to be in 2021? This is a trickier one. But I do think that it's important because, like I said, we're going to be given this great opportunity, hopefully, here in 2021, that the world is going to open back up. Things are going to be okay. Who do we want to be? We've had a lot of time by ourselves. What kind of person do we want to be? For me, in 2021, I want to be, and here I'm going to put 3 things that I really want to work on myself. If you want to borrow 1 or 2 of these, you can. But in 2021, I want to be, here's what I want to be. I want to be kinder, of course. I want to help people when they need help. One thing that I noticed is that especially when we're in distance learning, it's really hard to stay focused. Just because, here we are at home and I have a lot of worries. I turn on the news and there's maybe bad news on the news and then I lose my focus. So I want to be kinder. I want to be more focused. And the last thing that I want to be calmer. All right, now I know that sounds kind of strange. I don't want it to sound like I'm like running around the house and I'm like breaking windows and stuff. That's not what I mean. What I mean is sometimes I just get very worried about the news and what's going on in the world, especially with like coronavirus. And, I worry about you guys. I want to make sure you're all okay. And I just want to be able to be a little bit calmer, be able to just take a deep breath, be okay, and to just kind of catch my focus again. Okay, so that's the kind of person that I want to be in 2021. Okay, now once you have finished those 3 boxes, the last thing we're going to do today is just take this information and we're going to put it into a letter. So I'm actually going to zoom out here. Okay, now this is pretty easy. I'm going to try to pick it up a little bit here, go a little bit quicker. So the first thing up here in the top right hand corner, these little lines, if you remember back in the very beginning of the year, we wrote letters to celebrities and people that we looked up to. These are easy. Okay. The middle is where we're going to put what we put on the last slide. So first thing is the date. Today, 4th, and it is 2021. Okay, the date is January 4th, 2021. So you're going to put, and if you do this a little bit later, just check to make sure the date is correct. You might be doing it a couple days later, so make sure you have the right date. Okay. Now the next 2 lines, this is the person who is writing it. So who is writing this letter? So write your name. Don't write Mr. Lund, that's not you, it's me. Okay. And then here, where we say dear blank, this is where we write the person that we're writing to. Okay, now there's a couple different options here. You're writing to yourself. Okay, so you can just put your name again if you want. You can say dear me. You can say dear future me. Whatever you want. Okay, but you're writing to yourself. So you're saying dear, whatever you said. Okay, dear me, dear future me, dear Mr. Lund, whatever. Okay. Now here's the body of our letter here. Okay, the body is the main part where we put our actual letter itself. Okay, so I'm going to go up here. The first thing that we're going to put in our body is one event from 2020 that was important to me. So that's what I'm going to do. One event from 2020 that was important to me. Important was when I got to see my family after quarantine. Okay, so if you see the first sentence of my body here, what I did was I just took this body, or this first sentence here, one event that was important to me was when I got to see my family for the first time after quarantine. Okay, so one event from 2020 that was important to me was when I got to see my family after quarantine. I just copied what I had there. Okay. I'm going to go back to this slide here. If you need to pause here for a second to catch up with this first sentence, go ahead. I'm going to move on here. One thing I want to do in 2021 I want to go back to school. Okay, so that's the thing that I want to do in 2021. I want to go back to school. I'm actually going to kind of push this sentence out a little bit, then extend it. I want to go back to school and see students and teachers that I miss. Okay, that's really what I'm missing from going to school. Of course, obviously, I love Achieve, but the students and the teachers, it's the people that I miss. Okay, and then last sentence, so if you need a second here to pause and finish the first sentence and second sentence, you can, but I'm going to move on. What kind of person do I want to be in 2021? I'm going to say also, in 2021, I want to be a kinder, more focused, and calmer person. So that's the person that I want to be in 2021. Okay, so here's what I have here. I have 3 sentences, the 3 sentences that we came up with on this slide. We put into our body. Number 1, and number 2, and number 3. Okay, if you want to add more, you definitely can. The last thing is to put your signature. Sincerely, Mr. Lund. Okay, and that's the letter for today. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm here during office hours. I'm here to help. All right, let me know.